we're going to talk about writing fractions as a decimal, and it's really straightforward. We all know that 3/4 is equal to 0.75 as a decimal. And since that 3 is first, let's take a look and see how to do this. Since the 3 is first, we're going to put that one inside the house. So the first number, when we say 3/4, we say 3 first. The first number goes inside. Just remember that. The first number goes inside. And whatever's left goes outside. And so we've got 3 inside and 4. That's 3 divided by 4. And then we have a decimal that's hidden there, but we're going to show it. 1 goes up on top. And then I'm going to put a leading 0 just to make it a little cleaner. And we know that 4 goes into 30 times, but 4 goes into 37 times. So we're going to put a 7 up there. 7 times 4 is 28, and then we subtract, and we get 2. And then we have to append a 0. So we'll bring that 0 down, and we'll say, well, how many times does 4 goes into 20? And we say, oh, that goes in 5 times, which is great because that gives us a difference of 0, and we're out of numbers. We've got 0 down at the bottom. We're out of numbers at the top to divide, and so we know we are done. We know we are done. That's how 3/4 is equal to 0.75. I know you already knew that, but we're looking at an example to see how it works. So let's look at a new example, one that maybe you don't know. Let's do 5/8. So 5/8 means that 5 is first, so it's going to go inside, and there's our hidden decimal. And then 8 is on the outside, and we put the decimal upstairs, and we can put a decimal after the 8 as well. Now, 8 goes into 5 0 times. So we append a 0. 8 goes into 50. Well, gosh, I don't know if I know that. So I'm going to put a little skip counting chart here on my right that says 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56. And that's times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5, times 6, times 7. Now, if you've got your multiplication tables totally memorized, you don't have to do this little table on the side. I just find it's a little bit easier. And I say, well, let's see. 50 as a multiple of 8, that's going to be 6, because 48 is the next number that's not 50, not larger than 50. I could have gone to 56, but that would be too much. That's more than 50. So we have to keep it just below 50. So 6 times 8 is 48. And so we do that. Then we subtract and we get 2. We append a 0, bring it down. Now we have 20. Well, we look at our chart and see, well, which number on the left is not bigger than 20. So that would be 16. So we have 2 times 8. So I'm going to put a 2 upstairs. And 2 times 8 is 16. And then we subtract those, and we get 4 as our difference. We append a 0, bring that down, and we look for 40. And it turns out that 40 goes in there exactly, and so that's going to be 5, and we're pretty happy about that because that means we're almost done. And so now 8 goes in to 40, exactly 5 times 8 times 5 is 40, and the difference of 0, and we know we're done because we've got a difference of 0. We have no more numbers upstairs, and so we know that 5/8 is equal to 0.625. Let's look at another number. How about 6/11? Now, 6 is first, so it's going to go first, and 11 is going to sit outside, and there's decimal point there, decimal point there, decimal point there. 11 goes into 6 0 times. And then we append a 0. Now, some of you might want to make a multiplication chart for 11s, but they're pretty simple. It's 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99, and so forth. But I'm not going to bother because I know that 60, the next one below that would be 55, and that's 5 in there, and a difference of 5. And so I go ahead and append a 0, and I get 50. Well, what's going to go in there? Well, that's going to be 44, because 4 times 11 is 44. And I find that's a difference of 6. Append a 0, go down, that's 60. And so that's 5, so 55. And I say, hey, wait a second. I'm seeing a pattern here, because that's going to be 50 again. So I think I've got a pattern going here. I've got 60, then 50, then 60, then 50. So that pattern just repeats. So I know I can take this, and it's going to be 4 there. I've got 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. That's just going to keep repeating. So I can write that 0.54 with a repeating bar above it to show that that 5, 4 is going to repeat again. Now, we're going to have another issue that we come up, and this is actually really simple, but sometimes it stumbles students. So what if we have 3 and 4 fifths? The problem we have is we have this whole number part and we have the fraction part. Well, it's actually really, really simple. What we do is we put aside the 3 for now, and we're going to take care of the fraction part. So 4 fifths, 4 is first, and so he gets to go inside the house, and 5 waits outside, and 5 goes into 4 0 times, so we append a 0. 5 goes into 40 8 times, and this one's a super easy one because we're already done. So that's 0.8, because we've got nothing left in both this row right here. We've got 0 right here. We're doing great. So we've got 0.8. But that's not the final answer. Remember that 3 we left before? That 3? Well, 0.8 is the 4 fifths part. So we've got 0.8. But we just bring that 3 to the whole part. And so 3 and 4 fifths just turns into 3.8. So if you've got a whole number part and a fraction part, then all you have to do is separate it out into the whole part and the fraction part, and then put them back together at the end. That's it.